Hey guys, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and if you're beginning to stress about what to make for your Thanksgiving feast, not to worry, we have got you covered. I have come together with a few of my favorite YouTube channels to bring you this playlist of a progressive Thanksgiving meal. Now what does that mean? It basically means that each one of us is contributing one of our favorite recipes to show you how to pull off the perfect Thanksgiving dinner. So for my part, I'm going to show you how to put together some homemade apple turnovers. They're elegant, they're delicious, and they come together in minutes. Now I love apple pie. It is a classic when it comes to Thanksgiving. But my little issue with it, especially for Thanksgiving, is when you put it together and then cut it at the table, it kind of turns into a bit of a gush-gushy mess, and it doesn't look as elegant as it can. That's why I really like these apple turnovers, because it's almost like everybody gets their own individual pie. They look pretty and elegant, and they also taste just as good. The first thing we're going to do is prep some Granny Smith apples. The Granny Smiths are the green ones. They're also the most tart of the apple family. I love to use them because they do sweeten up in the oven as they release their sugars. So don't be concerned if they taste a little bit tart now. They won't when they're actually baked and put into your turnovers. Once you get your apples all peeled, then you're going to dice them into tiny pieces. And here's the easiest way to do that. You're basically going to slice off each side, basically each cheek of the apple, until you have 4 pieces. Then you're going to slice those and then turn the apple around and give it a good dice. That way you'll end up with nice even diced pieces. Once your apples are all diced, you're going to transfer them to a bowl, and then you're going to add some brown sugar, some white sugar. Then I also really love to add raisins to something like this. Now if you're not a raisin fan, I totally get it, and you could leave them out, but I do find that when the apples are baked in the turnover, they do add a nice chewy texture. So I go ahead and add just some simple black raisins, a little bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of nutmeg. The final step is just a little bit of fresh lemon juice. You're just gonna go in and with your hands, give it a good toss. It really is the spirit of Thanksgiving. You gotta roll up your sleeves and just get right in there. And the next thing we're going to do is prep our puff pastry. So you're going to take 1 egg, add a little bit of water to it, and give it a good stir. Basically, we just want to create an egg wash. This is going to form the glue that is going to keep our turnovers together. Then you're going to take out your store-bought puff pastry. Now for this, I really like the puff pastry that comes in sheets because it's a little bit easier to roll out that way and to cut into nice generous squares. Then go ahead and take your egg wash and give it a nice brush just along the perimeter of the square, basically just creating a border. Then you're going to take your apple mixture, spoon it out, and place it in the center of your puff pastry. And then I like to dollop with a little pat of butter. The butter and the sugar and the juices of the apple, when that all cooks down, is going to create a beautiful, delicious sauce. Then you're going to fold your pastry over to form a triangle, and you'll see you'll start to have the makings of a nice little turnover. Then, using a fork that has been dipped in flour, you're going to go around the edges of the turnover and just press that pastry down with the tines of the fork, creating a nice seal, and transfer it to a parchment-lined cookie sheet. I like to use the parchment paper on this because I find that the turnovers don't burn as easily on the bottom when you have a little bit of insulation in the form of some parchment paper. And then the final step is just to give each one a light brushing with the egg wash. And then I also like to top with a little bit of Turbinado sugar. If you're not familiar with Turbinado, it's basically just a raw sugar. It adds a wonderful texture and finishing touch to these turnovers, and I really love to add it. And then this is how you are going to serve these. This is what's going to make this so easy for you guys. You're going to cover them with a little bit of foil and pop them in the fridge. Now I know there's a lot going on at Thanksgiving when it comes to your refrigerator, but if you can just leave like this much room on one of your shelves, these trays will just slide right in and they will not take up that much room. Then the next step of the process is to create our delicious Calvados infused whipped cream. Now if you're not familiar with Calvados, it is a delicious French liqueur that is made from apples, and it is the perfect complement to go with these turnovers. But if you don't drink, that is okay. You could just use some vanilla extract instead. So what you're going to do is in the bowl of an electric mixer, you're going to add 2 cups of heavy cream, a little bit of powdered sugar, and a tablespoon of your Calvados. Whip that up until soft peaks form, and that's all you have to do. And then you're going to transfer that into a nice airtight container until you're ready to serve. So that part of the process is also done. Now, when it comes to Thanksgiving and everybody is finished with their meal and it is time for dessert, watch how easy this is. You're going to go into the fridge, you're going to take those turnovers that have been sitting there, you're going to pop them into your preheated oven according to your puff pastry instructions. This is really a tip when it comes to puff pastry. All of those store-bought varieties have different temperatures sometimes. Normally they're about 400 to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, but you just never know. So just check the bottom of the box, and whatever it says to bake at, that's the temperature for you. But then just make sure you bake them for at least 20 to 25 minutes. You'll see they'll start to puff up and turn golden brown. That's when you know they're done. Then you are going to place each turnover on a plate and serve it with a dollop of that beautiful Calvados cream. I love this dessert because it is so simple and so elegant. It can all be made the day before, and your guests will be completely floored when they see that you have made homemade apple turnovers served piping hot from the oven. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. And I also hope that you stick around to watch the rest of the videos in this playlist. There are some other wonderful time-saving recipes that I think you guys are gonna love. Have a very happy and safe Thanksgiving, and to all of my foreign viewers, well, we hope one day you can come to the States and experience this amazing meal. It's definitely something to remember. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.